If you don't know by now that Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs, you've been under a rock or something. And seeing her at his games is a given. You see her a lot, like a lot. Too much for some people. The camera kind of seems to be on her at all times. It's catching her every reaction to her boyfriend's game. And evidently, that bugs some people. It has irked some fans. Even people within the NFL have said it takes away from the on-field product and it distracts viewers from the game itself. If that's how you feel, if you're triggered by seeing too much of Taylor Swift at those games, our next guest says, get a grip. Nancy ARMOUR is a USA Today sports columnist, and she joins us now. Thanks so much for your time, Nancy.
Sure. Nice to talk with you.
So you wrote this article last week, fresh off of Kansas City beating Buffalo. And I'm thinking now, the Super Bowl is coming. Things are only going to ramp up. Are you going to be ramping up your message that male fans need to suck it up?
Yeah, because it's, this whole notion that she has taken over is ridiculous. She has shown, the New York Times did a story late last week that she's shown for a grand total of 25 seconds over the course of a 3-hour game. I don't know how many shots we get of Andy Reid holding a plastic covered call sheet up to his face. I mean, it's not as if they're cutting away from the game and you've missed a touchdown catch because they're showing Taylor Swift. And the same people who get all bent out of shape about this love seeing Jim Harbaugh watching his brother or seeing Eminem in a game. It's a double standard, and it's just really stupid.
Yeah, or even Jason Kelce. Like, I was thinking about how it was such a positive reaction to him being supported by his brother, and yet not a positive reaction to him being supported by his own girlfriend. Is this just sexism?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is any woman in sports can tell you that you always have to explain or justify your fandom in a way that men are never asked to do. And this is just an outgrowth of it. And it's also, the world has changed, and men are not automatically, given primacy. And that is threatening to some people. And they see this as yet one more example of their place in the world being threatened or them losing their place in the world. And, football has been seen as this male bastion, which is not really true. I mean, for the last decade, women have made up almost half of the NFL's fan base. And so it's, it's just holding her to a different standard, especially when she's not doing anything.
Yeah, sure.
This is the network and the league that's promoting her being there. She's just going to watch her boyfriend play football.
Right, and because ultimately they benefit from her being there. Let's talk about the Taylor effect. I mean, she's had a huge impact. My 11-year-old daughter now watches football, right? And they're buying the merch, and this has been huge for the sport. What's the problem with that?
There's really nothing, except for if you're, a dad, Brad or Chad, who doesn't want women taking away your game. But no, for the NFL, this is a dream come true for them. Somebody brought up a really good point last week that Roger Goodell said, it's been about 10 years ago, that he wants the league to get to a place of a $25 billion revenue each year. That's an astronomical number. If anybody can do it, the NFL can. But what we've seen recently is it's almost an acknowledgement from the NFL that they've kind of reached, their peak with the U.S. market, that, they've got these massive TV contracts. They've got, sponsorship deals with sportswear companies, et cetera. They've now got gambling. So one of the places that they're looking at more, and we're seeing it, is the international market. They're putting games overseas. They went to Germany this year. They're going to Brazil next year. Well, all of a sudden they have been gifted this entirely new demographic, a fan demographic. And it's also in most cases, it's a younger demographic, which the NFL studies have shown struggles with, that kids aren't watching the NFL. They're certainly not watching it the way that their parents did. And so all of a sudden the NFL, which has thought, hey, maybe we've tapped out in the U.S., has this completely new, market, fan base, whatever you want to call it. It is a gift for them.
With reference to,
you should see Aaron's face through most of this.
As the resident man listening to this conversation, I will say, look, and I'm thinking most guys are like this. Yes, there's some people out there, and I think those people will always be there who are like, I don't want to see anything else. Just show me the coach. Like, whether it's a guy holding a clipboard or whatever else, no need to see Taylor Swift. But I think, to your point, and to Natasha's point as well, This is only good for the game. I don't care. The NFL doesn't care if you watch the game to see Taylor Swift or watch it to see a touchdown cast. They just want eyeballs. This brings eyeballs to the NFL, and maybe some of those people who would not have watched and are watching now, they become fans. They get hooked now, and then they start to, wow, I kind of dig this football thing, and they start to watch as well. To me, this is a win-win. So for anybody protesting the fact or really upset about the fact they're interrupting a football game for 5 seconds at a time by showing Taylor Swift hugging Patrick Mahomes' wife, they need to get a grip.
Well, and also, too, and I fully agree with everything you're saying, they're not interrupting the game. I love American football. It's wonderful. It's my favorite sport. But there's a lot of dead time between plays.
Sure.
Yeah. So what? You're cutting away to see Taylor Swift in a box, or you're just going to instead of seeing a bunch of 300-pound guys standing around at the line of scrimmage. You're getting upset about that? Really?
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
And when we're talking about entertainment, what is more entertaining in that moment? It is awesome to watch people's reactions, particularly if they happen to be the biggest pop stars in the world. Nancy, I'm wondering if you've been taking flack for this article. Like, what kind of response have you gotten from people?
It's been interesting. With the exception of, I got one email this morning, and I think I had one response on Twitter. Came from women. Every other response that I've gotten, and I have gotten plenty, have been from men telling me that I am wrong, that I don't know what I'm talking about, which is not surprising.
Man. What is wrong with these men? Guys, come on.
And I'll say this, we find this in a lot of different cases, that if it is not your experience, your reality, it's not your right, it's not your place to tell those of us whose it is, how we should feel or how we should respond. So, the guys who are telling me I'm all wet and that there's, I just need to go back in the kitchen, you're kind of proving my point.
Oh, God. Well said. I'm so glad you wrote this article, and we are so appreciated that you took the time to talk to us today. Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Good luck, Nancy.
Yeah, good luck.
We're not all like that. All right.
That's Nancy ARMOUR. She's a USA Today sports columnist.